Hello, hello, hello. Another footnote. 2 days, two footnotes. My goodness. With these Ferrero Rocher, I am spoiling you. So, yesterday, I mentioned in passing the treasure hunt on my video about trigger warnings. And I got a lovely message from Philly H. Hello, Philly H. Loving that you're liking this new version. About, can we talk about the treasure hunt? Now, Philly H has listened to Chains previously, and knows about the treasure hunt. What do I mean by that? Well, just to go back, when writing this book, I gave myself some rules that, yes, I was going to use other ghosts, but they had to have some basis in literature, films, in media of some description. And if they did that, they also would have had to be dead at the point in which this narrative would happen. So, for example, I'm going to give you a couple of examples, like the most obvious ones in the book, and then talk about others. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm going to let you think about them. So, one of the most obvious ones is the ghost of Hamlet's father. He is there front and centre. I think it's fairly obvious that's who he is. He uses a lot of dialogue from Hamlet in his speech. That's who he is. You know, his description of the rotted ear and all of that, that's how he died. That's who he is. Linton, another of our main characters, is a very famous literary ghost. She is the ghost of Cathy from Wuthering Heights. Catherine Linton, as she was when she died, which is why she says it probably more fitting to be called Linton. Now, she is an edge case. Wuthering Heights and A Christmas Carol were published quite close to each other. I think there's maybe a year in it. So that's my thing, that A Christmas Carol happened in the year that it was published, and Wuthering Heights happened in the year that it was published. She was just dead enough to be a ghost within this narrative. So I used her, and I thought, brilliant, wonderful creation, and obsessive to be a stage manager. Why not? I've met many stage managers. They're not that obsessive. They're not that nasty. So that's the game. Any ghost that you meet within the narrative is a ghost that is either from a book, a play, a film, a short story, some kind of media. I mean, it goes quite out there. There is one that is a very obscure thing from something that is a live experience. But I'm not going to tell you who that is. No. I'm not going to tell you who any of the rest of them are. Partially because I think it's fun to do the treasure hunt, as we've called it, and look and see who these people are. The other reason is some of them might still be in copyright. Yeah. So if you do think, well, this character sounds very like this other character that is in a popular piece of fiction, I'll deny it. I'll say, oh, well, they're very like them, aren't they? But they're not them. Because they're not. I wouldn't do that. But I think that's one of the fun things, is the treasure hunt and identifying pieces of the puzzle of where people came from. There are other parts of that puzzle, so it's not just the ghosts. Other people that they encounter, I think there was a couple in the sermon, in the chapter called the sermon. There's a couple of characters in there from other properties. They're quite a lot from Dickens, well, a few from Dickens and a few from other places. And I'm also going to talk about the line. I've gone over my 3 minutes and I just don't care. There is an inaccuracy. Yeah. I talked about, in one part, the penguins at the New London Zoo. And I'm afraid at the time of our story, London Zoo was yet to be formed. It was only a few years after A Christmas Carol that the Zoological Society opened in London, but there weren't no penguins in London at the point of our narrative. And I lied to make a joke. that joke refers to a version of A Christmas Carol. And if you know what it is, you have watched one of the best versions of A Christmas Carol that there ever is. I will be taking no more questions on that. So yeah, that's the treasure hunt. Find out who the extra characters are. The ghosts, all of the ghosts have some basis in another fiction. Yeah, there are some ghosts that are based on a real life tragedy in there. Yes, so that's a thing to hunt out. There are characters from other novels. Have a look, have a think. There are quotes from other things. Lots and lots and lots of it are based on other things. So that's part of the treasure hunt. That is the treasure hunt. If you think, oh, in a chapter, oh, I know who that is, why not? Why not put a comment underneath that chapter and say, oh, I think I have found such and such a ghost in here, or such and such a character which has come from another Dickens or other property. That would be fun, wouldn't it? That'd be a fun thing to do. Oh my goodness, I've doubled my time. I'm over 6 minutes. Well, there you go. That's this footnote, foot number 3, which is about the treasure hunt. Glad people are enjoying it. Have a wonderful rest of your Christmas season. I may pop up with another footnote when I can think of one. Bye for now.